In a previous video, I showed you the kitchen, which we just started decorating. You probably also remember this wall started to fall apart with the paint peeling off. It was looking horrendous. So thank you to those of you that commented, gave us some ideas of how to paint the walls without previous layers peeling off under it. That really helped. I figured, as you can see actually, this is new coat. It's turned out really well. We'll show you a clip of the finished kitchen. I figured while we were showing you some of the house and you've seen us painting parts, that I would tell you some of the story behind how we ended up in this house, because it's quite the story. Just over 10 years ago, we were living in a place called Ely in England, and we were living in government assisted living. I don't know what you would call that in your country, wherever you're from. In England, it's government housing. Places where people that live below the poverty line, they have houses provided to them by the government, and the rent is subsidised and things like this. So we were living there, but we were about 30 to 40 minutes away from the rest of our family lived. So often during the week we would be going back and forth picking up my niece and nephew. They were a lot younger at the time, and we would bring them back to our house in the morning and then taking them back at the end of the day. And sometimes we would be doing that 2 or 3 times a week. So you'd end up driving maybe 3-4 hours a week just going back and forth seeing family. So we decided we wanted to try and move. Let's move closer to the family. But the only way to do that was to do a trade with government housing. And so we were looking at doing this, but we weren't overly happy with the things that we were seeing, the housing options. And there was a church in America, and this was just over 10 years ago, and there was a natural disaster, and that church ended up going from about 3,000 members down to 300 because they got scattered all over America. And the pastor contacted us, and he knew what was happening with us. We're trying to move house, and he said to us, look, we believe in sowing and reaping, so we want to sow into you getting a house so that we might get a house, that we might reap a new home, not just as a church, but also for members of the church. So they ended up helping to pay the down payment on this house. And I'm not saying it's because they did this, but that church has since grown from 300 people to about 15, 16, 17,000 people in multiple campuses. And so we were able to move into this place right around the corner from the rest of the family, where my niece and nephew can just come and go. They could walk around and see us, and it's been a massive blessing, not just with the building, not just with the home, but also with everything inside of this place. So the kitchen cabinets and things that you saw in the clip, all of those were basically given to us for free. We've got wooden floor down our hallway. Someone paid to have all of that relayed. We've got a garage, however you pronounce it where you're from. We had guests from Singapore come, and they stayed with us, and they ended up helping to pay for, or they paid everything for us to be able to have half of that converted into an office, so that we're not working in our sitting room with files behind our sofas. So everything in this house is a miracle. We realize that this isn't just a place for us to live, but it's a place for us to host people. And so we have people from all over the world coming, staying with us. I think the most we've had is 25 at one time. It was a little cramped to say the least, but we love having people come to stay with us, visiting us, and being able to stay in this place that God provided. There's no way we could have got this place on our own. It is all because of God and Him providing for us and using other people that were willing to be used by Him. So if you're watching this and you know that you were a part of that story, thank you so much. We are so appreciative, and maybe for the rest of you, you'll get to come and visit us here at some point.